everyone's doing great today, and I will try my best to convey some of my experiences and things I have encountered and lessons I have learned as well. So, okay, today is about no internship, no problem. I know a lot of people are worried right now that, hey, I don't have an internship. How will I get my next job? How will I get my college applications? How will I stand out? I'm here to tell you, even if you don't have an internship, you can do all of those things. Literally, no internship, no problems. There are so many things you can do, and I will share some of those today. So, the agenda for today is I'll talk a little bit about who I am, and I'm going to talk about the mindset, the human side of how all of this works. And then I'll get into our main topic is what to do if you didn't get a summer internship. And in the end, I will leave some time for question and answers. I have some pre-submitted questions. I will try to go through as many of those as I can and leave a lot of them for live ones. So feel free to ask me questions at any time. I will try to keep an eye on the chat, but if I don't, just someone be like, hey, you're not looking at chat, or, Chloe can help me out. And another thing that is super great about Zoom is, let's say, because there are so many people and I might not be able to get to everyone's question, if someone's posted a question and you agree that, I should answer that first, just upvote it so those questions kind of pop up on the top versus the rest of them. Okay, so a little bit about me. First thing I want to say, I did not have a summer internship. Be it summer school or in my undergrad, I did have summer internships at some years, and in some I didn't. My last degree was my master's, and I did not have a summer internship, and I still had a full-time job when I left college. As of today, I have 3 years of professional experience in reality AI, Qualcomm, and Brain Corp. I did my master's from UMD in the field of robotics, and I'm also a YouTuber. Here's a shameless plug. Please do go check out my channel. It has a lot of great content. My focus is about women and the career challenges that you face. As I said, I did not have a summer internship, and it was not a problem. So today I'll be talking about the things that I did instead of doing an internship. And the reality is that actually set me apart. At my interview during Brain Corp, I was asked questions on things I did during that summer. And after that, I got hired, I was asking, so, hey, like you interviewed me. I just want to know how I did, things I could improve on. And everyone told me you were a 4 on 4 across the board. The reason you had such a high rating was you were very different than all of our candidates. You weren't the typical someone who had done a summer internship. That is good, but your actions showed that you are a go-getter and you are different than everyone else. You're not waiting for someone to give work to you. You just went and did your own thing. So trust me, this is a blessing. You can use your time to do something completely different and stand yourself out from the resumes. Because one of the problems that happens is you have all of these resumes, and more or less everyone has internships and everyone is more or less the same, and you're not able to get that interview call. You wouldn't believe it when I say that, for Microsoft or even for a small startup, Brain Corp, that I used to work for, we used to get at least hundreds of resumes, and we would only have 1 or 2 summer internship positions. So you really want to try and stand out. Be different and embrace that difference. All right. So how many of you all don't have a summer internship here? Can we do a poll here? Let's see. Hey, Chloe, do you know how to do a poll?
I think we could just have people type it in the chat.
Yeah, actually that works too. So where is the chat option? Okay. I can't find the chat option. Anyone wants to help me out here?
I believe it's at the bottom of the tab.
I think if I'm sharing my screen, then I can't see it. Oh, no, I found it. Okay. So let's see if I can encourage you all to share your insights. How many people here don't have an internship? Just type no, don't have an internship on the chat. Okay, look at that.
Someone just
So many messages.
Someone just mentioned in the chat that you can click on participants, and then for yourself you can click yes or no instead of typing it in.
Okay. So thank you for that advice. Do try it out. If not, then yes, no is completely fine too. The reason I want you all to look at this chat is to realize you're not alone. Trust me when I say this. Okay, today my computer doesn't want to work. Loading. Okay. Anyways, we're just gonna keep going. We will figure out the technicality. My second question is, how many of you all have seen these Facebook or LinkedIn posts where everyone who's gotten an internship has said, yay, I have an internship. Yay, day one at Google. And how many of you all have felt jealous? I will be the first one to admit that when I see those posts, I feel jealous all the time. Look at that. I want you all to literally look at that chat and look at all of those yes messages and know that you're not alone. And the first thing I want to tell you all is you're human. I am human, you're human, and it is normal to have these feelings. I'm seeing not jealous, just disappointed. I get it. Feeling that, hey, wow, she got it or he got it and I didn't. Am I not good enough? How many of you all have had those questions that, hey, I didn't get it because I'm not a good coder, or, I don't have the skills, or I didn't try hard enough, or, I just don't, I'm dumb. Like, how many of you all feel I'm dumb? I will raise my hand first. Like, there are times where I feel I am dumb, I'm jealous, or I'm not good enough. And I'm here to tell you all, and look at this chat, like literally, there are so many people who feel the same way. You are not alone. And this one thing can be very powerful. Knowing that you're not the only one who feels that way, and there are others who are in a similar position and who also feel the same way, that tells you you're not weird. That tells you that, hey, you know what? If so many people are feeling, then we all are not dumb. We all are smart.
Okay, there we go.
Not seeing it. So I gave this talk on imposter syndrome in 2 years ago.
Oh no, imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. That.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Please go up before these people.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Okay, feel free to jump in anytime. So, that imposter syndrome, at that conference, I had people, most of my attendees were from career. They were in the industry. They have had worked for 1 year, 2 years. There were people who have had worked for 10 years, and they still felt they're not good enough. They still felt that they're dumb. So it's not that you're dumb, it's this feeling, and it's literally blame it on the imposter syndrome. People think that, hey, I will get to a point where once I finish high school, or once I get my college degree, or once I get my job, that I will feel that, yes, I now know things. I can no longer call myself dumb. There will never come that moment. There's always going to be that moment where so imagine like your life, your brain is a circle. This is all the things you know. And you feel, okay, I don't know everything right now, I'm in high school, but the moment I graduate, the moment I finish college, my circle will expand, and then I can say that I am not dumb and I know. And then you join the workforce, and then you realize, nope, I need to know more. I need to know more. I need to know more. And it just keeps going. So The thing you need to tell yourself is you are good enough. You are not dumb. You are not alone. And this is the mindset shift that I'm talking about. As I said, tell yourself you are awesome. Trust me, that changes. The thing that it does is it takes away the power from this feeling and it puts you in charge. That, hey, I'm telling myself I'm awesome. I am the boss of me, and I'm going to decide what my life is like. So, as I said, shift that mindset and don't let things and feelings of negativity influence your life. Change it to positivity. Think of things like, I am awesome. You know, one really powerful tool for this? Anytime you see someone amazing, just go tell them, hey, you're awesome. Just do it. Like, no strings attached. And that reciprocates and it spreads around. And then there are going to be times when you will hear someone say, hey, you're awesome. And start internalizing that. So, one of the other things with imposter syndrome is you always feel that even when someone's giving you praise, you're not good enough. They're just saying it, because they're parents, they're your friends, they have to. They're not going to be able to say bad things to you. That's not true. People genuinely mean it. Do you remember the last time you went and told someone, hey, you're awesome? Did you say it just for the heck of it? No. And in fact, a lot of people go through a lot of effort to just go compliment someone. A lot of people are shy. So when someone is doing it, that know that they actually went through that effort means they really mean it. As I said, control is within you. You're still in charge. So you can change that. Even if you think that, hey, I feel I'm dumb, I'm not good enough. So what? Like, just change that, right? I'm still in charge. I can learn. I want to know this, then I can learn. But it's not easy. Like, I hear all of you in your minds going like, I know you're saying it, but it's not easy. Even though we say that I'm going to be more positive, it turns out to be just a little bit more difficult. And that is why you need tricks. I'm going to share some of my tricks with you, and I want you all to join me. So it's an interactive exercise. Grab a piece of paper or your phone or your laptop, open up notes, anything. Just grab a piece of paper. Okay, is everyone ready? Put me in the chats or give me thumbs up so I can see y'all. Great. Okay, so like I said, grab a piece of paper. Hey, Kitty. And on that piece of paper, I want you all to write the things you have accomplished. It can be anything. The fact that you're in school right now, not everyone graduates middle school, or not everyone is able to get to go to a school. The fact that you're at a school and you're able to pass your exams, the fact that you're showing up, that itself is a lot. Your competitions, if you participated in a spelling bee competition, if you participated in a drawing competition, anything, just write it down. The reason I want you all to write all of these things down is you get to tell yourself things you've accomplished that you didn't think you had it in you. When I was a kid, I participated in a competition where it was literacy week and you had to go and talk about a favorite author. It was in front of the whole school. And I went up there and I froze. I could not say a word. And I was the girl who was made of fun of like throughout my year, that, hey, you're the one who went. And I literally went and said gibberish. Like I would say, hey, boy, that was me. It totally happens. And then next year, I tried again. And I knew how difficult it was. I worked through the whole year. I kept talking. I kept practicing in front of the mirror. The next year, I did a little better job. I mean, I was not awesome. I still didn't win. But I participated and I actually, made qualifications. I I said more than burger. I was more than that. So that helped boosted my confidence. Every little piece of accomplishment made me feel that, hey, you know what? I remember how difficult it was, and yet I went and did it. Even though I didn't win a prize or anything, the fact that I was able to go say those words meant a huge deal to me. And that was my accomplishment. And I still have it written down that, hey, back in school, I finally managed to go and speak in front of audience. Do those things. Every time you overcome a little small problem, put it down into that list of accomplishment, because that is what's going to help you boost confidence. A lot of time, imposter syndrome is about confidence. So we're going to reverse the game. We're going to take confidence from the place we can get. Next thing I want you to do is write down a list of things, nice things people told you. Okay, I want to see some examples. So everyone go on the chat. Tell me a last time when someone told you. Maybe your teacher told you, hey, you got grade B, great job. Maybe your friend told you that today you presented this poster and I absolutely loved it. Come on, people. Okay, I see a message. My mom is the one who usually compliments me. Great. You know, a lot of time when I was a kid, my mom and dad would tell me great things and be like, oh, they were just my parents. That's why they're saying nice things. They have to. But it took me a long while to realize that no, they were legitly saying it. They weren't saying it for the heck of it. I did do a great job. So, don't ignore things your parents say. My friend congratulated me for doing well on my AP exams. Great. Write it down on that piece of paper. You're very organized. Great. These are great insights as well to find out your strength. Here's the thing that people say, that you should know your strength and you should know your weaknesses. You work on your weaknesses to improve, but you use your strength to drive yourself forward. So for example, this person said that she is really good at organization. How do you use it for the rest of the things? You're super organized or a list of articles that will help you learn to code, and then organize a plan that will help you get through all of that code and accomplish those things. So use those things to find your strength and use it as a confidence booster. Okay. Now, this is my best part. And I hope you all can turn on your cameras and do this, because then it is super fun. Okay. This is the Superwoman pose. Come on, everyone. I want you all to get in front of the camera, put your hands on your hips, and turn on your mic and say it with me, okay? Is everyone ready? The thing you're gonna say is, I am awesome. Scream if you have to. Let everyone in the family know that here's a Superwoman coming, making great things. So are you all ready? 3, 2, 1. I am awesome. Come on, louder than that. We're what, like 50 girls? We can do great. I am
awesome.
I am
awesome.
Great job, y'all. I do this every morning. And the days I forget, my partner would be like, hey, you forgot to do this today. This is so empowering. Just telling yourself, yes, I'm awesome. Yes, I can do this. What challenge? I can do it. Every time someone tells me I can't do something, it just helps me be like, you know what? I want to prove you wrong. I want to show you how it is done. So next day, I get up in the morning, I go in front of the mirror, do the Superwoman pose, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. Today, I am gonna make sure that I accomplish something. Today, I am gonna write that code. So I'm from computer science, robotics background. That is why I'm talking a lot about code. But it can be anything. It can be pre-med, it can be architecture, whatever your field is. Tell yourself those goals and tell yourself every morning with the Superwoman pose that I am going to do this today. Didn't do it, fine. You couldn't get it, figure it out, fine. Next day, wake up. I couldn't figure it out yesterday. Today, I'm going to figure out how to do it, and then I'm going to do it. The idea is to change that mindset by changing your thoughts. If you have negative thoughts, you're going to keep having negative thoughts. If you have positive thoughts, it's going to have positive thoughts. It's as simple as this. Last time someone smiled at you, you automatically smile back. It's contagious. Positive thoughts, contagious. Superwoman pose, contagious. So try it out. Okay, now onto the main topic. With this new mindset,
Also, I
we're
don't
going to talk
know.
about what to do, how to set yourself apart if you didn't get a summer internship. Competitions. How to put this? Okay, so I'm going to talk about 5 different ways, and I'm going to talk about them in terms of easy to difficult. And I will also say why. Number 1, competition. The reason I put this as easy is someone already gives you the problem statement. You don't have to decide what I have to do. For example, in the field of coding, you get a challenge. You literally get the problem statement and you just have to find the answer. In the field of robotics, you guys might have heard of FIRST Robotics. They give you a problem statement. For example, you have to build a robot that will pick a ball from one place and put it in a bin at the other end of the room. So because someone's already telling you what to do, the problem statement, figuring out what to do, has been taken care of. How to do it, that is a challenge, but that's where mentors come in. A lot of these competitions have mentors whom you can go and ask for help. Another thing, they have deadlines. This is super important. Like, for example, they'd be like, your competition, your regionals will happen on July 31st. So now you have a deadline. You know when you're going to do. I see someone on the chat saying, first team represent, woohoo, way to go. So here's what I'm saying, that because there's a deadline, you know exactly when you have to turn in your work. So you are going to do that work. A lot of times when we have to do things on our own, we keep postponing it. We keep procrastinating. But with deadlines, that is taken care of. And trust me when I say this, competitions set you apart. In my own team at work, we hired a person who had spent his whole school year working on an underwater robotics competition. And when that person came in, they had so much experience. They knew how to fix things. They knew that shit breaks all the time. Robots break all the time, and they were calm, they were composed because they knew, they had experienced this. Trust me when I say this, when we were reviewing resumes, that person being in a competition versus an internship, spending their whole year as a competition, stood out. Plus, you don't have to go about it all alone. You can do it in teams, you can get help from your professors. Even a lot of companies sponsor these competitions, so you can get money to buy parts for your robots. So competition are a great way. The same goes for summer as well. Instead of doing an internship, participate in a competition. Who's stopping you? Nobody but yourself. Let's say you don't have a team member. Girl Genius magazine has such a fabulous Slack account. Just go there and be like, hey, I want to participate in this competition. I'm looking for teammates. You'll find people. It is just put yourself out there and you will find people to do it along with. Also, with competition, you get to, divide all of these things as to, okay, this person's responsible for hardware, this person's responsible for software. You have to coordinate. Doing all of this shows leadership. And those are the things you can even write in your resume, that as part of this team, I had this role and I was responsible for so and so. Or I managed a team of 5 people and we all were in charge of hardware. A lot of you all are mentioning hackathons in the chat. With hackathons, they're good, but you have to be cautious. If it's a 1-day or a 2-day hackathon, that doesn't translate to a great thing on your resume. Because if you just went to a hackathon, attended a bunch of workshops, learned something and came back, but didn't do anything, it doesn't help. Again, let's say you created a website, but you did it that day and then that's it. You didn't do anything beyond that. Not great. Come back home, work on that website, keep working on it, add more features, and then you can add it on your resume. If you just add one day hackathon, people are put off by that. As someone who has read resumes and interviewed people who have done hackathon, it's like they'll be like, oh, okay, so I made this one project in this 24 hours. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, that sounds great. How did you continue to work on it? What did you do rest of your summer after this competition? Did you continue work on that? And the answer would be no. And that is bad. Hackathons are good if you can take those learnings and convert it into a project. They're good if you take those challenges and continue to work on it. And you didn't do just work for 24 hours, but you worked on it for, let's say, 3 weeks. That counts more than just one day of hackathon. I wanted to ask you all, has anyone participated in a competition and what valuable insights you gained from it? But I see a lot of people are already putting it on the chat, so that is great. I see this amazing thing happening where someone's like, hey, I participated in this competition, and someone else is asking, hey, can you tell me the name? That is great. This is the community that I was talking about, and Girl Genius Magazine has done a fabulous job of bringing that for you. So use it. You know, those things you did in competition, you have to learn how to put it on your resume. As I said, mention valuable insights you gained out of those competitions. Let's say you worked on a project at home. Great. You worked at a project in competition and then you came back home and then you worked on it. Great. That is what I'm talking about. You went to the workshop, you went to the hackathon, you worked on it one day. Not great. Continue to work on those projects, expand it into a full-blown project, and that is what will help you. And then mention everything you did. Let's say you worked with teammates. Put that on your resume. Don't just tell me you participated in a competition. Tell me what you did, what you gained from that, what skills did you learn. Let's say you made a website for all the articles on women. How is your website better than others? Mention that. What did you do? So say that, you looked at the website and it was always very confusing because there was a lot of pop-ups, accept cookies, subscribe, make sure to like, and all of those pop-ups were annoying and you weren't able to do things you wanted to do. So you created a website where there are no pop-ups and you tested it with a bunch of users and they all showed high likelihood of coming back to the website. Those kind of numbers, those kind of things is what you want to put on your resume. Courses. This is again a great avenue. Let's say you don't want to participate in a competition or you can't find something or you feel you don't have the skills for it yet, go and take a course. Again, courses are great and they're a little easier than other things because they have deadlines. They have set time of, okay, from this day to this day, this time you tune in and you do your course, and then you have assignments that you have to submit. So you are on track. Again, the thing you have to do is already given to you. So your work is much more defined and you know exactly what you will be doing. Now, the thing, again, I want to bring focus on is don't do theory-based ones, do project-based ones. So you can exactly say what you did. If you just say that you did question and answer kind of assignments, as someone who would want to hire you, they don't know what you gained. Working on projects shows that you have the actual practical knowledge that can be used for a job. However, if you're someone who is going for research, then it's a completely different ballgame. Then you want to show that you can read papers, you can write papers, you can review papers. Those are the things that you would want to focus on. Do courses based on what your end goal is. Another thing, you did the course, great. Come back home or in your free time, work on your own project. Let's say you learned how to do Python and how to do games in Python. Build your own game. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be A grade, amazing one. Even if you do a simple game, it shows that you care and you went above and beyond. You're not someone who's just doing a course and just doing assignments. Also, it's a great way to learn. Trust me when I say this, doing projects on your own is how you learn. And that helps you with interviews. In interviews, when they ask you coding questions, because you've been coding for so long, it's much easier to answer because you have this insight into, okay, I got into this problem, I solve it like this. It shows in the interview. Trust me when I say this, when you interview people, you can straight away tell that this person doesn't know what they're doing versus yes, they know how to think and solve those problems. Writing experience in resume versus on interviews, people can tell. Oh, there are times, of course, where it's a bit of gray area and you can't tell, but you can very easily tell the people that who have never done this beyond whatever was taught in the course and they don't really know coding. Doing your own project helps you learn those skills. And then when you go ahead and do those interviews, it instantly tells that you've worked on your project and you know your work. It literally sets you apart. I'm telling as someone who has done a lot of interviews and I've been able to do this. As I was saying, practice, practice, practice. A lot of people are so focused on, hey, if I have this internship, if I have Google or Amazon on my resume, I will get the job. You still have to clear the interview. And the things that happen during that time is to know that, hey, do you know how to do this? Again, with the example of robotics, the most important thing to get the job is knowing how to code. But this is a little bit more difficult than just doing coursework because no one is defining what you can do. So you kind of have to take control and charge of yourself. You'll have to make a plan. Things I do is lead code. And what I would do is I would make a 30-day program and be like, okay, for these 30 days, I have to solve at least one problem every day. The benefit with this is I am so used to coding that when I'm in the interview, I'm able to write that code much faster. I don't have to think, oh, do I use a list or do I use a set or do I use a tuple? Because I've been doing it constantly, it's much easier and natural for me to come. And that sets you apart in the interview, that this person knows the skill that they're claiming to know. As I said, motivation is difficult. So another thing you can do for this is pair up with someone. See if you can, find another person who's also interested in this and have a little friendly competition or check in with each other. Have that accountability. So everyone can be like, hey, I did this problem today. Hey, what's your status? Use that friendship to motivate one another or, even help each other out. So let's say, I'm not able to solve a problem, but the other person is. They can help me, and helping one another is great. Every time I teach someone how to code, my skills get better because when you're saying it out loud and trying to explain, you're also explaining it to yourself. So do try it out. An example I wanted to give was Project Euler. They do this actually through every summer where they post a new problem on a daily, I think weekly basis. Every Monday or every Tuesday, they post a new problem and you have a week to solve it and submit the answer. So, check them out. This is again coding. I don't have a background in medical, so I can't say much about that. Okay, now interactive exercise. So a lot of you all were giving me a good list of things that you guys are interested in. I want you all to take a piece of paper and write down skills that you think are necessary for this future job. So for example, let's say you want to get into robotics, coding, C++ or Python, data structures and algorithms. That is the important skill for the job. ROS, again, another important skill. So give it a try. I see a message. If you want to start learning robotics, first decide on what specific skills you want to learn. Yes, great point. Know where you want to go. Is it hardware or software? If it is hardware, then you want to focus on things like making the circuit designing. Be it software, then it's coding. I remember someone in the start said they are interested in architecture. I don't know a lot about architecture, but there are software specifically for architecture. Another example, interior designing. There's a software called 3D Max. List it down. Listing things that you would need for your future job helps you decide what skills you should be focusing on. Khan Academy, Coursera, again, amazing resources to find out the skills you need, learn it, and as I mentioned before, use it to make your own project, even if a small one, and that will set you apart. Don't restrict yourself to the course. Use it as a jumping point to start things and then build on it. Or you learned coding, keep practicing it. Even if you don't do a project, find assignments online and keep doing them so you are sharp with your skill. It's practice, practice, practice until it's second nature to you. Okay, now this is a little different than everything we've been talking about so far. Writing a report. So let's say you want to get into the field of AI, or let's say you want to get into the field of biochemistry. Write a report. So go into that topic, Google and find some subfields, anything that kind of interests you, but you don't know much about, or you know a little bit and you want to know more. Pick that topic and dedicate it as a report writing project. Your end goal is to publish, let's say, a 10-page of report, everything about that topic. Read research papers, read books. It's as if, when you were in school and someone said that you had to write an essay on Abraham Lincoln. And you did so much research, you found all these things, and then in the end you wrote an essay. And then if anyone asked you about Abraham Lincoln, you knew all this stuff because you wrote a report on it. Another great thing with this that you can do is you can interview people. You can go on LinkedIn and be like, hey, I am writing a report. Let's say, for example, robotics. A subfield in it is perception using LiDARs and dealing with LiDAR noises. So you can go on LinkedIn, connect with people in this field, send them a message and be like, hey, I'm writing a report on sensor noise with LiDARs for the field of robotics. I would like to interview you. Interview with them, talk about them, ask them questions, get their insights. Do this with a couple of people, combine all of that knowledge and write your report. Two benefits to this. One, now you know a lot of things about this field. Second, you just managed to talk to 10 different people in this field and they know you, that they have an interest. They had a meaningful actual conversation with you, not just, hey, I'm interested in this field, and they saying, go check out Google or go check out this book. You actually had a conversation with them. They're going to remember you, and next time they actually have an internship in that field, they might contact you. Or, when they post that, you can be proactive and contact them. Hey, if you remember me, we had this conversation and I would like to apply for this internship. You already have an edge because you've spoken to this person. This person is more likely to refer you because you did something. And then don't just take that interview, write a report and be done with it. Send it to them. Collect all of these insights and send it to them. Not just that. Use social media to your advantage by publishing your report. Go on LinkedIn and publish this report and put all the correct hashtags and words, and you will get insane amount of engagement. You will be actually able to connect with people who are interested in this field, and now you have a good network. You are networking with the people in your field and you have a connection with them. And the thing is, in comments, you can have amazing conversations. Let's say people will read your report and they don't agree, or they agree with certain points in your report. They're going to put it in the comment and you can talk about it with them further. Again, two benefits. One, you are increasing your knowledge in this particular subfield. And two, you have a stronger connection with this person. You are connecting with the people who will help you. Even if it's not for job, you can go to them and be like, hey, I'm working on this problem and I'm not able to solve. I know you're in this field. Would you help me? It is more likely they will help you. Also, now you're not asking someone who you don't know if they know something about this field or not. You're actually connecting with the people you're interested in. Last one. This is again the most tricky, most difficult one, is do your project. I know I mentioned this a little bit in the start that, you went to a hackathon, you started a project, finish it, or you did a course, convert it into a project. Now, the reason this is more difficult is no defined problem. Thinking of a project itself is difficult. Let's say you're in the field of robotics, and I didn't know what kind of projects you could do. Right now, if you ask me, I do know that yes, you can do line follower robots, you can do image stitching, you can do texture recognition, but I didn't know all of those before. So this definitely is a problem where it's difficult to even find a problem or a project to work on. Second, no access to data. So with image stitching, right, you need a lot of images. If you're in a competition, you get that data, or you get those machine parts and be like, okay, build so and so with so and so. But on your own, this can become a little bit difficult. So this is my solution. Go check out a competition, look at their problem statement, and use that to do your project this year. Even if you're not participating in the competition, doesn't mean you can't use that problem statement. So with the earlier example, let's say First Robotics has a bunch of challenges that, go pick up a ball and put it at the other end of the room. Use that as a problem statement, make that into a project and put it that, hey, I solved the problem of picking up balls from one side of the room and dropping it on the other side of the room. Again, no deadline. So the motivation is low. With courses, with competition, you have to submit this by XYZ date, but you don't have that. And the trick is, as I said before, use social media. Let's say you have decided to make a line following project. Go blast it out on social media that, hey, I am going to start working on this. And then as you reach each milestone, publish it on social media. LinkedIn is great for this. I see so many people posting about the projects that they're working on and asking for help. Because you don't have the same kind of mentors as you had with competition, use LinkedIn. The whole network of LinkedIn will help you if you ask. So, continuing with the same example, line follower. You start with building the robot. You get 4 wheels, you get a microcontroller, you connect it to the power supply, and you turn it on and it doesn't work. You don't know what you're doing wrong. Go on LinkedIn and be like, hey, I am working on this project. This is what I did so far. I don't know what to do next. Don't restrict yourself to LinkedIn. Even go on Stack Overflow, Google groups, Facebook groups. Go post your questions. People are more than willing to help. You just have to ask. Don't ask generic questions. Be like, hey, I want to be in this field. What do I do? Be more specific. Be like, hey, I'm working on this project, or I want to learn robotics. I have heard that C++ is great. What book would you recommend to get started? What course you will recommend to get started? And people will recommend. Or be like, hey, I don't have the money to pay for a Coursera program. They are expensive. They are sometimes $50, $300, and I'm looking for free resources to get started. And that's fine. And you would be surprised by the amount of knowledge people have that they want to give to you. So, use social media to your advantage. Again, as I said, doing your own project is a little bit more challenging because you have to motivate yourself. There's no deadline, there's no this, there's no that. But the thing with this is, if you do this, if you did your own project, you stand apart. So in my case, when I didn't have a summer internship, I did a project of comparing different path planning programs, algorithms. And then what I did was I created this GUI, and I had one planner running on one side and another planning running on another GUI, and I put it on my website. At my last company, the reason I got hired was because of that. My interviewer comes in and says, hey, I checked out our website, I looked at all these project yours, and I have questions prepared for you. And because I had worked on those projects on my own, I knew every challenge I had faced, and they were super impressed by that. After getting hired, when I was asking for feedback, they said, you did your own project. That shows self-starter. If others we hire, we have to give them work, we have to give them projects, versus if you've done your own project, it shows that you are willing to come in, look at the current code base, look at the current project, identify problem areas, and go and solve things on your own. I see a question, how would you include projects on a resume? Just mention it. Let's say I did a line follower, and then put the timestamp as your dates, and then put in bullet points of what exactly it did. So again, line follower example. I used Arduino and I made a line follower robot. I coded in C++. I was able to look at the challenge. So after creating my line follower, I realized I can increase the speed by changing the light intensity. So I added that as a feature. Of course, don't write full sentences, write bullet points and use adjectives and verbs, but do that. And trust me when I say this, it stands out. I myself was able to get my job. I mean, it's not just that, but it definitely helped stand me apart. And my interviewer was saying that you doing your own project shows self-starter, shows that you are willing to take initiative, and that is what will set you apart. As I said, make it visual, super important. Having a code that follows a line versus having a video of a robot that follows a line, even if you do it in simulation, and posting that video will get more views than just writing about it. It sucks, but it is reality. Like, for example, if you go on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, the reason Instagram is more popular than Facebook is it's all about photos. Visual counts. It's ridiculous, but that is something you should keep in mind. Use it to your advantage. Every time you're working on your project, also think about how you're going to make it visual. How are you going to present this so that someone can look at it and know instantly what you did? So those are the 5 things that I had in mind, and those are the 5 things that actually helped me. I also want to mention a couple of other things you can do. Work with a professor, volunteer, start your own company. There's this show on Netflix called Babysitter's Club. They just started a club and they started babysitting. Do that. And you can, do those things and include it in your resume. And it shows skills that you learned. You did your own finances. You did marketing. You faced challenges. Trust me, you will face challenges. Write about all of those. Those things are still okay to write on a resume. A lot of people think that, hey, I opened a lemonade stand. How can I write that? If you don't have anything else, you can totally write it. It's not about what you can and cannot write. It's about what are the things you should prioritize. The idea is what kind of a story you're trying to say. If all you've done is made a lemonade stand, then put it. Let's say you've done a lemonade stand and then you made a line following robot, and then you want to go into robotics, mention the line follower robot, not the lemonade stand. And if you want to, mention the lemonade stand in terms of transferable skills. Challenges you face that you will also face in the field of robotics and be able to use it. For example, dealing with customers, or that your lemonade used to get hot, and to ensure that it stays cold, you came up with you installed a smart device, or you used some sort of electronics to keep it cold. That is transferable. So think in that terms. Another thing, contribute to open source. A lot of open source projects, Google them and then go to their GitHub account, and then they have tags, and look for beginner tags, easy tags, and that's how you get started. And then you go on. So the way it works is, on an ongoing project on open source, people list out issues or problems with that particular project, and they write it as issue and they tag it. And then they have specific tags of, beginner, starting, easy, moderate, difficult. Use those tags to find out issues that you can work on. Try solving it, create a pull request, and ask for help. Again, yes, even with this, most open source also have their own community. Go ask for help. And lastly, it is completely okay to not do anything and just relax. You don't get summer vacations once you start working, so it's okay to take a break. It's completely fine. Thank you very much, everyone. I will try to go through some of the, let me look at the time. Okay, we are at 6 o'clock. I am sorry, I didn't realize. I will go through some of the pre-submitted questions. And I also see a lot of questions here. Once again, Chloe, I'm sorry, I went over time. But if people want to hang out, and if someone has to go, that's fine. I totally understand. You can contact me on my LinkedIn. You can also contact me on my YouTube channel. Feel free to send me questions. Feel free to send me that, hey, I attended your talk. I had these follow-up questions. Also, some of the pre-submitted questions, I made a document and I wrote the answers as preparing for this thing. So I will try to send it to Chloe and so that she can share it with all of you. Again, I'm super sorry that I went overboard. My LinkedIn and my YouTube is attached. You can simply search Kajal Gada and you will find me.